today's episode, we are halfway through the year, guys. Mid-year. It only feels like yesterday when we started 2025. So you know those goals that we set at the beginning of Jan, and we are all so excited, like, this is the year I'm changing how I work on my money. And today's episode, I wanted to share with you that it's not too late. We still have 6 months to go. Hi, I'm Gabriela, and welcome to the Personal Finance and Coffee Podcast. And on this channel, we talk about money and finances. The goal of this podcast is to break the cycle of making the money. And then 10 years later, 5 years later, we feel like, fine, I've made the money, but where has it gone? I still feel like I've not made progress on my goals. That's my intention here, to give you tips on how to manage the money, how to grow the money. If this is something you find interesting, please like, please subscribe, so that you don't miss upcoming episodes. Today's episode, we are halfway through the year, guys. Mid-year. It only feels like yesterday when we started 2025. And somehow you blink, and now we're in July. 6 months have gone. So you know those goals that we set at the beginning of Jan, and we are all so excited, like, this is the year I'm changing how I work on my money, how I manage my finances. And today's episode, I wanted to share with you that it's not too late. We still have 6 months to go. And my intention for this is to give you 6 tips. Let me be clear, these are not new. I just hope that the way I share them today will give you encouragement of like, okay, it's not the end, I have 6 months to go. I can still make progress on the goal that I set at the beginning of the year. So that when it's 31st December, you don't feel like, these things don't work. I set the goals and it didn't work, so what's the whole point? So the intention for this video is to give you motivation to keep going. Let's get started. Now, let me start with one mindset shift that I really want to share with you. Changing how we manage our money and making it grow is not a, you snap your finger and you're done. Guys, this takes time. It takes a lot of time because you're not just changing, it's not just about the money. The way we spend our money goes down to our habits and our upbringing. It's so much deeper than just spending money. Because sometimes you spend money because of a pattern that you saw growing up. And the journey does not end. You just keep having different challenges, but it doesn't end. You set the foundation and you keep adjusting as the need arises. So that's the first mindset shift that I really wanted to share. As you embark on these next 6 months of the year, please keep in mind that you're going to make progress, but you will not have arrived. I started my journey in 2019. That is when I became intentional of saying, I'm going to work on this. And we're in 2025. Guys, I've not arrived. There's a video I made where mid-month I ran out of money. I'll have it linked somewhere in the screen. And everyone is still work in progress. I'm not yet there. I share this content because there are things that I've learned and that have worked for me. So I encourage you, as we get into these next tips of things that you can do to work on your finances, please keep in mind that you will make progress. You may not arrive at the goal because it's an ongoing process. But I hope that does not discourage you. That's it. I didn't want to lie to you that this is the quick tip. No, guys. This is to help you make progress. Now, step number 1. Let me get right into it. Step number 1, the usual. You must start with tracking your money. There is this, I think I've seen it in books and on videos. What gets measured gets managed. I don't know who said it, but you cannot work on what you don't see. You get what I mean? You cannot work on what you don't see. So if you do not have the awareness, what are you improving? You get what I mean? Now you may feel like, but Gabi, it is so tedious and I don't see the whole point. So, Gabi, are you telling me that billionaires track all their money? I don't know what they do, guys. When I become a billionaire, I'll tell you. I do not know what they do. But finding a way to track your money that works for you, because there are different ways of doing it. It opens your eyes to what you're doing, and then you can say, okay, I see that this is what I'm doing, and this is what I want to change. But if you go in blind and you say, I want to change my money, but you don't have actionable points to say that I overspend on going out, or I overspend on buying clothes, or I overspend going to cafes, then you can't say that, okay, between now and December, I want to reduce on by going out, or I want to buy less clothes, I have enough. You don't know what to work on because so it keeps vague, and when it is vague, there is no morale to even act on it. So you need to start with tracking your finances. I'm not going to get into detail because I have episodes where I talk about tracking. But quickly, the essential tips that I would want you to keep in mind are only two. Choose a place that is easy for you. It could be your phone, it could be a paper, it could be an Excel sheet. I have a budget template that I use, that I have for sale, that's in the link if you'd like to get one. There are also free Google and Excel budget templates that are there. I think I have a free one as well that I'll have linked below. But get something that is easy for you. Are you always on your phone, or do you always have a pen and paper? Because for me, that's what works for me. I always have a pen and paper. Or are you always on your laptop? Whatever is simple for you, just pick an option that is easy for you. Once it's hard, you will not stick to it. Life will get busy, and if you fail to get consistent with it. Well, that's the first tip. And the second one that I think is important is choose the categories. You need to choose the general categories. If you're writing Irish, Bluebird, bread, transport, if you just have a long list of where your money went and there are no categories, how do you analyze that data? So pick categories. Just do those two things and track them. You can do this for maybe 2 months. Then you start to see a pattern. Now, where am I bringing? The second tip is making a budget. But I'm choosing intentionally to talk about tracking before making the budget. Because if you've not been doing anything for your finances, and I tell you now, make a budget. Do you know how much you spend on groceries? Or how much you spend on transport? They're all very vague. You get what I mean? Anyway, that is, yeah. Sometimes I feel like all these things I'm saying are repetitive, but the basic principles of money, there's nothing new. There's nothing new. It's just taking action on what we already know. So if I come here and I tell you, I'm telling you something new that is groundbreaking, that will change your life, I don't want to lie to you, my dears. I really do not want to lie to you. What I'm saying is what has worked for me, and I hope you'll find it valuable. If there's any specific challenge that you've tried, you said, okay, Gabby, I've tried and this hasn't worked, please ask in the comments below. Or if you're like, Gabby, but I don't agree with you, please let me know. I'm not there yet, and I'm open to learning. If you feel like those things don't work for you, please let us know what works for you. I'm always learning, and I love how you guys comment. I always respond to every comment. If you have a comment, if you have a question, if you have a clarification, sometimes you may feel like, but Gabby, what you're saying doesn't make sense. It's not realistic. Please let us have that conversation in the comment section. I will be so excited to hear what you have to say. Yeah. So the second tip that I'm going to talk about is budgeting. Now, when you have that data of those 2 months, for example, if you said July, August is tracking, you track your numbers, then you start to see, you've set your categories, you've chosen where, and now you have the numbers for July and August. When it comes to the routines of when to check in on your money, when do you write, I have episodes about that. I'll have them in the description and also a link. I won't get into that process. But now July, August, that's what you've done. Now, you make the budget. You say, okay, September, I'm making a budget. This is what I think will work for me. When you're setting that budget, please prepare to fail. This might be counterintuitive. Please prepare to fail. What I mean by fail, fail is really in quotes, but you will not stick to that budget. This is a learning process. You're learning what works for you, and you keep adjusting. Even people, because you will make that in quotes budget, and then September will come, and you'll have something you did not expect. And prepare for that mentally. And when it happens, don't feel like you have failed. Like, if you've prepared for it and you're like, I am learning, I'm in class, and this is school fees, you know what I mean? So look at it as, when you prepare for it, you expect it to happen. And when it happens, just be flexible and see how to adjust in a way that works for you. Now, when you start making the budget, please take notes about, become aware of your triggers. Sometimes, okay, let me explain triggers. For me, when I'm in a good mood, suddenly in my mind I'm like, oh, I think I should go out to a cafe, I need to reward myself. Those are my, like for me, my trigger is my mood, and then I know what I'm drawn to spend to. Other people may have a different trigger. For me, that's my trigger. Some people may have a trigger of, I have this event, I need new clothes, I need a new bag. That may be a trigger for spending. So just be cautious of what your trigger is as you're in your budget and as you go through September. That is the second one. Now, the third thing that I really would like to encourage you to do. So July, August, you've tracked. September, you have taken your time to set the budget. Now, October, November, December, those are 3 months. These last 3 months, I would really encourage you to set one goal. Yes, only one. I know you want to buy a car. I know you want to buy a plot of land. You want to clear all your debts. There are so many things that we want to do. But the truth is, we cannot do all of them in 3 months that are left, or the 6 months that are left. Now, why am I bringing this goal in October and not starting with the goal? Because when you set a goal, and then in your mind you're not convinced that you can actually do it, there is resistance. It's like me saying I want to build apartments tomorrow. I'm even discouraged to work because in my head I'm like, where am I going to get the money to build apartments tomorrow? You get what I mean? So if you start, you're like, okay, these next 6 months, I'm going to reduce all my loans and I won't have loans anymore. Now, remember when you set this goal at the beginning, you've not tracked, you do not have awareness of what your spending is at the moment. You have not done an experiment with your budget. You get? And all these steps are on top. So when you start making your budget, it doesn't mean you stop tracking. You're just adding one another habit. So you track July, August, then September, you budget. As you budget, you continue tracking. Now, when you get to October and you're setting your goal, you're still tracking and you're still setting a budget. Now, this goal is, you need to make this goal realistic. Realistic based on the data you have seen. You've now seen how much you've earned in these past months. You have seen where your money goes. It may seem like you're not making a lot of progress, but you need to have a win. When over time you've set goals and then you've not done them, we lose confidence in ourselves. For example, imagine your friend keeps telling you, we go out. For example, you know how you make plans. We're going to go, we're going to travel. The next time they bail out on you, you're like, no, this happened, they do. First time, second. Would you believe them the next time it happened? You know what I mean? So, even as we have to build confidence in ourselves. So in these next 3 months, October, November, December, set a tangible goal. A tangible goal. Like you can say, for example, based on what I earn, I want to reduce my loans by 1 million. Depending on what your income is. A goal that is very realistic based on the data that you have. Now, when you set this goal, the next step is to make it visual. Don't set the goal in your notebook or in your phone and that's it. Guys, you will forget. You'll forget. You blink, it's December, you're like, oh, I set that goal and you've completely forgotten. The only way to make progress on it in these remaining 3 months is for you to see it all the time. Have it on your screen. Have it you print it out and put it somewhere in your office or at your home or somewhere. You need to see it every day. And as you're seeing it, I have an episode where I talked about how I use my planner. And in my planner, every day I write the goal and the progress I'm making. If in week number 1 of October, you have reduced your loans by 20K, by 50K, and your target was a certain amount of money, write the progress you have made. It's encouraging. And when you're looking at what your goal is on a daily basis, somehow you see opportunities. You know that thing where they say, close your eyes, and they tell you, when you open your eyes, look for yellow things. You open and you see yellow things. Then they tell you, close your eyes, and tell me what red things did you see. You can't think of any red, because when you open your eyes, you're only looking for yellow. So when you keep thinking about your goals, somehow, over time, you start to see opportunities that will help you make progress. But that is only if the goal is visible. That is only if the goal is visible. My final step. Let us give each other grace. Give yourself grace. Please give yourself grace. Every day I remind myself to give myself grace. We fall, it does not work, life happens, and you can have a shock in the rest of the 6 months and you're like, where do I even start? We do not know what will happen. All we can do is pray, plan, prepare, and do our very best. So if you set that goal, if you set that information, and things don't go according to plan, the most you can do is look at what you have learned from the experience, regardless of how events unfold. But I do really encourage you that 6 months that are remaining, and not little, just imagine it's 31st December and you have hit that one goal. How would that feel? I hope that would be the encouragement to give you the push to make progress. So, what's your I really do hope that this video has come as encouragement. You know those motivational speakers. But I really do hope that this video has come as encouragement. We have 6 months. Let's make progress. Let's renew our energy for the rest of the year, and we can attain those goals. If you have any questions, any clarifications, if you do not agree with me, let's have this conversation in the comments. You guys, every morning I look forward to reading your comments and responding. And if you've watched till the end, I do appreciate. Please leave an emoji of a dollar sign, or those flying dollars. Yeah, please leave an image. I would like to see all those people who watch till the end. You know, not everyone watches till the very end, and I do appreciate it. This is something that you're interested in. I'm going to have on the screen a video where I talked about setting up your first budget in more detail, because here I'm going through an overall. So this video will help you in setting up your budget in detail. So you can go to that one. I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.